So the VHS fun continues.
So this is when we get into the reboot. So they rebooted VHS again. They changed the naming scheme. It went from being like 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2 viral.
Yeah, and then it switched to years.
Yeah, years, which just starts at 94.
Yes.
So VHS 94.
So the
frame narrative on this one is like there must be like a cult or something that's like has like a weird movie lot or a movie studio lot or something like that, and you're basically follow a SWAT team. Unless I'm getting this right.
No, you're right.
Yeah, okay, and then they're following like basically a SWAT team, and they're kind of like raiding this place. But when they go into these areas, like there's like these dead bodies with their eyeballs like popped out of their heads because they're watching these videos. Yeah. And that's where you start getting like the intermissions between like the actual videos because they're watching like the screen. And that's what they're watching.
Yeah, one of them had like weird commercials.
Yeah.
There was like a Slap Chop commercial.
That was Storm Drain. That's the first one.
They kept popping up.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Veggie Masher, I think it's called.
Yeah, Veggie Masher.
So the first one is Storm Drain.
Yes. This
is written and directed by Chloe Okuno.
Yeah.
And this one I liked a lot. This is basically so there's a news reporter, and it's like in Ohio or something.
Yeah, it's like in Ohio or something like
there's
that.
There's a news reporter following up reports of like a cryptid like rat man or something.
Yeah, because like people are like they're like saying they see a Sonichu picture. They bring up like their Sonichu picture.
Sonichu.
And they show it to the camera, but it's just like a picture of like a rat man.
Yeah, it's Rat Man. And they go into the sewers to look for Rat Man.
Yeah, because one guy's like, it comes out of that sewer drain over there.
Yeah, but they end up finding homeless people, and then she decides to change the narrative and talk about the homeless people instead of...
Because she's thinking that the Rat Man is just like a homeless guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need to film this because this is more important than your Rat Man.
But then it turns out Rat Man is real.
Yeah, because it's like...
But he's not Rat Man, he's Rat Ma.
Rat Ma.
And he's like a god.
Yeah, he's like a god that kind of converts people into being a Rat Ma guy.
Yeah, like Rat Ma cultists or something. But he creates like, I don't know, like some kind of acidic vomit or something.
Yeah. Which kind of either melts your face off or you become like a Rat Ma.
Gives you Rat Ma powers.
Yeah.
And so the reporter goes missing for a few days, and then she gets rediscovered. They can't find the cameraman because dude dead.
Yeah, the dude's dead, and they're like, we're still looking for this cameraman.
Yeah, so then she comes back, and she's reporting on the case, and then in the middle of the report, she starts saying, like, Hail Ratma and stuff. And then she just vomits.
Saying Hail Ratma all the time.
Yeah. And then she just vomits all over the co-host reporter and melts his face off.
Which, that was a good effect, actually.
That was like some Scanners level craziness.
Yeah, because it's like, you can see his eyes moving around, it's just like his skin's melting, he's like, ah!
Yeah. Kind of remind me, the shock factor sort of reminds me of The Howling.
Yeah.
Because at the end of The Howling, the reporter lady has been bit by a werewolf, and she transforms into a werewolf, like, on live television.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, and then I guess she signs off by saying Hail Ratma,
Hail Ratma.
at the end. But the thing I thought was funny about this is almost like a twisted horror version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Because it was like April O'Neil investigating reports of Splinter in the sewer.
Which Splinter's like a weird rat god.
Yeah.
That like spits acetic acid at you.
So it was almost like, it was essentially the, what's that Superman one? That James Gunn's cousins made or whatever.
Oh. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know.
It's on Netflix right now. I can't remember what it's called right now. I'll pop it up on the video if I find what it's called.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's kind of like that Brightburn.
Brightburn, yeah.
It sort of felt like a Brightburn take on TMNT almost, without the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, just like the Splinter.
Just the Splinter thing, for now.
Yeah.
We didn't know if they had enforcers that were turtles or anything.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, Hail Ratma.
Yeah, Hail Ratma. That was a good one.
So, the next one is The Empty Wake, which I know you like this one a lot.
I like this one. This is about, like they're basically, they're at, like, a wake. So, like, it's literally, like, one person that's in this place.
Yeah.
Like, in the beginning, you have, like, the pastor and, like, I guess, like, a mortician or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lady's, like, basically her first time actually hosting a wake. So, like, like the very first scene, you kind of have a little bit of a. It's like a little bit weird because the guy's like, "That's not where I had the casket at." So the guy moves the casket back over, and then they leave to go do something else, and the guy's like, "This corpse is pretty mutilated," because I don't think they explain what happened, but later on they explain what happened. But he's like, "This corpse was pretty mutilated, so you don't have to worry about anything."
Yeah.
So the lady's like starting the wake or whatever after they leave. And this is like way early in the morning, but no one shows up. It's literally her just sitting there and like, for a while.
No one's there. And
but
then
at the same time, the storm, you could hear like a storm going at the outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, the power keeps going out, but then you hear like noises come from the casket.
Yeah. Eventually this weird guy shows up.
Yeah, it's like one random guy just shows up.
He comes up to the casket, like whispers some like incantation in like Hungarian or something.
Yeah, and then just leaves.
And
she's like, "You don't want to stay longer?" He's like, "No.
No.
I'm leaving."
He leaves, and then the casket starts moving around again.
Yeah, then the power goes out again. It keeps showing the power keeps going out.
Yeah.
And then I think later on, you hear like the door or something. Something happens on the actual door, the front door, and she goes like investigate it while the power's out or something. I don't know if the power was out at the time, but she goes to investigate it. But there's like it's chain closed.
Yeah.
And then you hear like the casket like falling over in the other room.
Right. She goes back and it's open.
Yeah, it's open. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, and eventually she discovers that there's like the reanimated body
of the
like,
guy.
Yeah, he's like a vampire or zombie or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like staring at the wall and just like, what are you doing? He's like trying to calm him down. And then he can't see because his head's like missing. Like part of his head's missing.
Yeah,
because you learned that he jumped off like a roof of a building or something.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
And then he fell into the concrete.
Yeah, like cracked his head completely off.
Yeah,
or something.
So that's what he was talking about. Because the guy, because she keeps talking to her friend throughout the thing, because she's like. Because she hears the noises from the casket, she's calling her friends like, "Do you know anything about this guy?"
Yeah,
I want to know because the other people keep saying it's gas escaping.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, okay.
You gas.
Yeah, but at the very end, like a tornado apparently hits this place, and it shows like a piece of the guy's face.
Yeah,
and it's like moving around. And then it opens its eyeball and like looks at her.
And then it sees her, and then it like causes the body to come after her.
Yeah, because it can actually see where she's at.
Right, and then it gets her, and it ends up like possessing her body or something.
Yeah, while this tornado like hits this building or whatever.
Right, and then she crawls out and like escapes into the outside world with the spirit of whatever this entity is in her.
Which the reason why I like this one so much is because of it has a lot of tension in like. Literally nothing is there. Like, it's literally one person in this room.
Yeah.
By themselves. And it's like a lot of tension. You're just kind of wondering when this is going to happen.
Right. It kind of reminded me... You didn't see Haunting of Hill House,
no.
did you? Alright, so that's a Mike Flanagan show that was on Netflix. There's one episode in particular that's entirely at a funeral home, and that the whole thing is just like the family arguing, like one long take of people arguing, which must have been really difficult to do.
Probably.
And it has something like, not like that, but there's something about like a casket moving around and like stuff like that happening. Lights go out and stuff. It kind of reminded me of this. So anyway, it's a good show. If anybody wants to go check that out. So the next segment is another Indonesian one. This is from that Timo guy again. And this is called The Subject. And it's essentially just a story of like a mad scientist.
Yes.
And he's creating like really messed up cyborgs.
Yeah.
Like Tetsuo the Iron Man type cyborgs.
Yeah.
And sort of like a Frankenstein's army type thing. Or like the guy in Resident Evil 8 Village.
Yeah.
The weird werewolf guy that's making like human cyborg monsters.
Yeah.
That's basically what's going on here. And the whole thing pretty much follows the point of view of one of his subjects. Victims, really. Who he's like taken her head completely off and replaced it with like a weird camera, a video camera.
Like a camera, like a weird mechanical camera or something.
Yeah, and then the SWAT team comes in and like kills the scientist, and then inadvertently ends up like releasing the creatures, the subjects that he created.
Yeah, because I think there was one part where like the siren goes off, and on this loudspeaker he's like, "I am dead."
Oh yeah,
if you hear
right.
this message, "I am dead." Now you will feel my full wrath or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it basically causes everything to get locked or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much a bloodbath.
Yeah.
All the guys get killed, or pretty much everybody dies, I think.
Which actually, that one, so it's just kind of like, was it the Raid or whatever? Is this the guy who did the Raid?
No, this is the other guy.
Okay.
But this guy has done other, like, Indonesian horror films and stuff.
It definitely felt like that type of movie, though.
But he's worked with Gareth Evans in the last one. So
okay.
They have worked together before.
Yeah, because I do like this one because of the body horror that's in it.
Yeah, a lot of body horror in this. This definitely seems like it has a higher budget, or at the very least, it's much more ambitious.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So very similar to the last one. The Indonesian ones knock it out of the park on these VHS
it's
things.
good. Like, it's really good.
So it's almost like if you see an Indonesian segment,
yeah,
or a Spanish segment,
yeah,
you know you're in for something decent.
Yeah, it's gonna be something good.
It's gonna be at least good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on that one. I'd say that one's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And then we follow it up with possibly one of the dumbest ones
Yeah.
of the entire VHS.
This is stupid.
Terror, which is written and directed by Ryan Prowse.
It's like the only terror is that this is actually on film.
Yes. So this one's about like a weird, like, sort of white supremacist militia group.
Yeah, they're trying to like take on the government or something.
Yeah. They're out near Michigan. Reminds me of that group that's in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And similar results. They all get killed.
Which actually, I think this has like a connection to the actual like frame narrative, because the one SWAT team guy is the guy that's in this video or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it kind of has like a little bit of connection to what's going on.
Yeah, so anyway, they have like they have some kind of guy that they're constantly shooting in the head.
Yeah.
And taking his blood. And it turns out he's a vampire.
Yeah, because they keep saying like, we have a super weapon, like a biological super weapon.
Yeah, they're using his blood to create like super bombs.
Yeah.
Because in this universe, apparently if you're a vampire and you walk out into sunlight, you go thermonuclear.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, because that's like, they have like this rabbit that they injected with the blood, I guess.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, it's not working, and then it blows up.
It explodes and blows up like 100-foot radius around it. It's like ridiculous. Yeah. It's so stupid.
It's like great.
And the vampire looks friggin' weird.
Yeah.
Like really weird.
It didn't look like a normal vampire.
No.
And then you think about it, it's like, because these guys are like bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
It's like, how do these guys have a vampire?
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way.
The one idiot runs outside after he's been infected or something and he just explodes.
It explodes, yeah.
They're all idiots.
Yeah, it's really... Or the one guy like on the technical and he shoots his own guy. He's like 3 of them.
Yeah.
He's like, how do these bumbling idiots have anything?
No.
There's no way.
No. They're like over the top stupid. Although there definitely are people like that in real life.
That's true.
But it's, like I said, similar to the Ash vs. Evil Dead episode with the weird militia.
Yeah.
And people complained about that one too, but I do think that handled it a little bit better than this. This one's like ridiculous.
It didn't make any sense because like the reason why the vampire even came out, because they're like drunk.
Yeah.
And the guy dares the guard to like kiss his dead face. It's like the guy.
Yeah,
like,
it's real stupid.
Yeah, because every morning they must regenerate over the night. Every night, every morning he's like alive.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, maybe you should kiss his bullet hole face in
his bleeding face.
And it's like, you do realize it's literally been blowing up this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like real dumb.
It's real dumb. They get infected and the guy goes outside and explodes.
Yeah.
So that's basically it for VHS
yes.
94.
Yeah,
they wrap up the SWAT team thing. Is interesting because it turns out the female members of the SWAT team are actually like some weird cult that's like trying to make snuff films.
Yeah, they make
something.
snuff films, and they're saying this is our last snuff film after they beat up this guy, like the SWAT team member that was in Terror.
The Terror one, yeah.
By like beating him with like the camera. So when they're hitting him with the camera, you can see like the camera going into like his skull and stuff, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. All right, so your favorite one is
The Empty Wake.
Empty Wake. Okay, my favorite one. It's gonna be between Storm Drain and the subject, but I do kind of like the Storm Drain thing, so I'm gonna pick that one.
Storm Drain. Okay.
So that's gonna do it for VHS 94. Hail Ratma.
Yeah, Ratma. There you go.
So then we go to VHS 99,
which I think they just gave up on this. The narrative, the frame narrative on this one.
They just gave up.
Because literally it's a guy, like, playing with toy soldiers.
Oh, yeah, this one's stupid.
And it's like, I don't know what the point of that was. And he's like, I killed all your friends, your German friends or something.
Okay, yeah, I want to make a point about this because no one has brought this up, mostly because it's pedantic and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
But the guy, he's using toy soldiers... And he's doing this World War II narrative about Americans fighting Germans.
Yes.
However, the German soldier, in quotes, is actually a Russian.
Yeah.
the figures, I know where he made the mistake. The figures are painted gray.
Yeah.
So he thought they were Germans. But they all have, like, PPSH submachine guns and stuff that has, like, the circle drum underneath and stuff. So they're actually Russians. So the guy's wrong.
Yes.
Get your shit together.
VHS.
Whoever the hell directed this narrative.
Probably his son that has got the camera and just filmed himself playing with his toys.
Playing with himself.
Yeah.
Who even filmed that?
It even have.
It doesn't even. Yeah, this guy won't even admit that he did it.
Yeah, because it was so bad.
It's from Gawkers, maybe. It doesn't say. Okay, here. Directed by Tyler McIntyre. And written by Chris Lee Hill and Tyler McIntyre. Tyler McIntyre, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yes.
Do some research.
Wait, is the Gawkers, was that connected to that?
Yes.
Okay. So was that one of the kids playing that with the toys then?
I have no idea.
It must have been.
I think it was Tyler.
Actually, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, because the very last scene is like, literally a camera is like stuck in like one place and he's looking at the stairs.
Yeah, it says short stop motion animations of toy soldiers made by Brady from the Gawkers serve as interludes.
So it was connected to that one.
So it's Brady. Whoever Brady is.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember who Brady is. Okay, we'll get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, so first up, Shredding.
Okay, this was the worst one.
This is freaking stupid.
I could tell you that right now.
This was written and directed by Maggie Levin.
Yeah.
Who should also be ashamed of herself.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So this is RAC.
Yes.
Who is the acronym for the members of the team. Rachel, Encore, Chris, and Caleb. They're a punk rock band. They're a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah, which they filmed themselves doing, like, pranks again.
It's back to Jackass again.
Stuff. Yeah, Jackass stuff.
And they're pranking a punk band named Bitch Cat.
Yeah, which they're already dead.
Well, yeah, they were killed in a stampede that happened during one of their concerts or something.
Yeah.
So, on the anniversary of their deaths, I think Rack decides to go to the place that they died in and then mock their deaths with blow-up dolls.
Yeah, with blow-up dolls with, like, one guy, like, has sex with it or, like, tries to, like, drown
something.
it.
Yeah.
It's, like, really weird.
Yeah,
but there is one member of the Rack group. I think it's, like, the drummer.
Yeah.
Which he's, like, afraid to go.
Yeah, Encore.
Yeah, because he's, like...
He's, like, Hindu or something.
Yeah, he's, like... I've heard stories that
Buddhist.
You don't want to, like, go to a place where, like, the dead's been at because he can, like, waken them.
Yeah, he says something about his fear of the Buddha,
Yeah.
but we thought he said Buddha.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, wait, I don't think that's something you're supposed to fear necessarily. Yeah. But anyway, Buddha are, like... some kind of Indian, like, hungry ghost.
Yeah.
Like, vengeful ghost.
Yeah,
it's almost like a
vengeful ghost.
Yurei or something like Japanese folklore.
Yeah.
So this is, like, the Indian equivalent of that. And that's basically, for some weird reason, Bitch Cat turned into these Buddha things.
Yeah.
And they show up and they basically brutally murder all the members of Rack.
Yes.
And then they're, like, playing a song with their bodies. At the
because they get possessed and then... They basically cut them up. It's really weird. They cut them up.
And then they put them back together.
And they put them back together again. So there's like, they look like Pinocchio at the very end. It's really weird.
There's no strings on it.
And they're like playing the instruments and it just looks like a marionette doll. It looks really weird.
Yeah, so Bitch Cat, get your shit together. Come on.
It's... It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know about Bitch Cat. So then the next one is Suicide Bid.
Yes.
This one's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, this one's good because like the effects in this one are really good, and the concept is pretty decent.
So this was written and directed by Johannes Roberts, who would later go on to direct Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, nice.
The cinematic masterpiece.
Yes.
So this one's about basically like sorority girls or something.
Yeah, and they're hazing a new member, or like there's like one girl wants to join this one sorority.
Yeah.
But she only did something called a suicide bid, which is just bidding to one sorority.
Right.
And that's why it's called suicide bid.
Yeah, it doesn't actually mean suicide.
Yeah.
It just means like you're only trying for one sorority, and it's like all or nothing.
Yeah, all or nothing. That's why it's a suicide bid.
They're doing this hazing ritual where they basically bury you underground for a day.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane.
And I think they say that they basically tell a story of they did it like some girl.
Yeah, they say it's Guiltina.
Yeah, Guiltina was buried under the ground or something. Alive.
Yes.
And then when they went to unbury her, she was gone out of the coffin.
Yeah. And they say that she went to hell or something.
Yeah, she went somewhere.
Somehow ended up in the underworld or something. Yeah. So spoiler alert, and I guess not really spoiler alert, this movie itself doesn't actually tell you this.
Yeah.
But Guiltina, they say Guiltine.
Yeah.
But then the one character actually says Guiltina or something. So, spoiler alert, I have a very close friend who's Lithuanian, so I know about this story. Guiltina is basically like the Lithuanian goddess of death.
Oh, yeah.
So, kind of think like death as depicted in the Marvel universe.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like death is a woman. It's like a female Grim Reaper kind of thing. So, that's kind of gives you...
Actually, that kind of makes sense at the end.
Yeah. And I think it's supposed to be the literal Guiltina.
Oh, yeah, because it kind of makes sense at the end when that happens.
Because that would explain why she's able to just randomly crawl into the underworld.
Yeah.
But anyway, during the course of they have her in the coffin. They don't mean to kill her, but things go wrong.
Yeah, because like I think they expected her to like just ring the bell. After a certain time, they probably just dug them up because they were standing there.
Right. They have a box inside the coffin. It's full of spiders.
Yeah, they do still like douchebag stuff
because they're also douchebags.
Yeah, they're like hazing, and it's like just doing stuff to basically make her scared. It's like Fear Factor, the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. But things get screwed up because the cops come.
Yeah, they come. They just run away, and then it starts raining.
Yeah.
So you literally have this thing that's raining on top of this coffin, and it's like plywood.
Yeah.
So water's coming through. And then the girl's scared. It's only been like 10 minutes. Like, literally, to go to the coffin, it's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, she starts freaking out. It's only been 10 minutes.
But the way the coffin's designed, there's like a window. You can see, like,
just
outside your coffin.
Just in front of your face.
Yeah, just in front of your face.
Yeah, and at some point, Guiltina shows up.
Yeah, because she's like, because they tell her, do not open to make sure Guiltina doesn't hear you or something.
Yeah.
They do mention it one time, and they're kind of messing with her by hitting like the coffin with like sticks and stuff.
Yeah,
but she tries to like ring the bell, but the girl's already gone because they're scared that the cops are gonna like arrest him or do something like kick him out of school.
Right.
And then it starts raining, and then the water's coming in while she's like, all these spiders are crawling around, and she's like trying to get the spiders, and like the water's coming through her plywood coffin.
Yeah.
And then you hear like raking on the wall. Like, it's been going on for a little bit. And you hear, like, this raking on, like, the coffin sides. And the front, then you look up, and it's, like, you see Guiltina, like, staring into the coffin or whatever.
Yeah.
What's, like...
So, basically, she gets, like, taken or something.
Yeah, and it breaks through the coffin, and then...
grabs her. And then the next morning, they come back, and the coffin's empty.
Yeah, like, the whole hole that's where the coffin's at, it's full of
water.
water. And they're like, we killed this girl.
You basically.
We can't say anything about it. And they go dump in and drive in to try to get her or whatever.
Find the body, but it's empty.
It's like, it's gone.
And then they end up in coffins.
Yeah, when they go to bed at night, they wake up in the middle of the night, they're in coffins.
Yeah. Because she made a deal with Guiltina or something.
She shows up, she's like, made a deal. It's like, I will give you souls if you keep me alive or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So then the sorority sisters die instead. Yeah. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, the special effects are pretty decent because it's very claustrophobic because of where it's located.
Right.
You're in a coffin, and literally the camera's like right next to their head. It's like it looks like Fear Factor. Like it's like that one scene where they show them like in their legs and it's like really close and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Also, extra points for randomly throwing in Lithuanian mythology.
Yes.
It's not something you see every day.
Yes.
Even though they never actually overtly reference it.
Yeah.
But it's just weird you chose that, and it's not a common name.
Yeah.
Certainly not in America.
But I think that the director is actually a British guy or something, so he probably heard it somewhere.
Yeah. So then Ozzy's Dungeon is written by Zoe Cooper and Flying Lotus.
Flying Lotus.
Directed by Flying Lotus.
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's his birth name.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it is.
So Flying Lotus made a movie about a children's game show.
Yeah, so this is like, what is it called that? There's like a Nickelodeon show that was this, obviously, where they're referencing.
Yes, there was a very famous Nickelodeon show that neither of us can remember at the moment because we're senile.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
I can barely remember what I ate for breakfast this morning.
It's like Endless Dungeon or something. It's like that dungeon show.
Yeah, it's whatever that one's called. But anyway, it's essentially a take on that Nickelodeon show. In this case, the kids are supposed to sneak through a dungeon, like a maze.
Yeah.
Do a bunch of stuff to meet Ozzy, and Ozzy will grant you whatever wish you desire.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's ever got it to Ozzy or something. I think he even specifically says that.
Yeah, I'm
like,
not
no
sure.
one's ever actually completed this.
Yeah, so the main character is Donna, who's this girl who wants to help her poverty-stricken family that's trying to get out of the city or something like that. So anyway, she gets like brutally maimed.
Yeah, because the very final obstacle course.
It's like a tunnel that we're going through.
Yeah, she had to go through a tunnel with the guy behind her is like trying to grab her legs. I guess she must have like hit her leg or something.
I don't know what the hell happened
because her leg just like snapped in half.
Her leg gets like shredded.
Yeah, and the guy's like, "We're not stopping this," and he's like throwing up on her leg.
Yeah,
and the mother is just like getting really mad because he sees this.
Yeah,
and the lady's like, "Stop this, please, because my leg is like in two pieces here."
All right. So anyway, that happens years later. The host of the show apparently gets like drugged and captured.
Yeah.
He wakes up in a cage and finds out that he's like being held hostage by the family. That,
at least the mother specifically.
Yeah, and the kid that got maimed, Dawn, is still in a wheelchair. Her leg's like gangrene.
Yeah, it's like, go to the doctor. Jeez, oh man.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it basically turns into Saw.
Yeah, because the lady's like, you got this many... Because basically they reenact these things before, but it's like using rotten meat.
Yeah, it's like really gross, super hyper violent version of what the game show was.
One guy has like a helmet with like nails in it or something, or like runs into this guy's stomach.
Yeah.
But then she has like a vial of like acid, and it's like, if you don't make it through this tunnel in 30 seconds or whatever, you will you're gonna get your face melted off.
Yeah, so basically they're gonna kill this guy.
Yeah.
And then before they kill him, he's like, look, I can take you to Ozzy.
He's like, I know where it's at.
Like, Ozzy's a real thing.
Yeah.
You can go there. And they go back to the studio, they sneak in, and they find Ozzy, who's basically like some kind of god or something.
Yeah, it's like a lady or something.
It's like a weird
really
monster
fat lady
thing.
with like something in her stomach.
Yeah, and the thing comes out.
Yeah, and he's like, I've never actually been back here, so I don't know what's back here. It's like a cave or something that's built into like the studio.
Yeah, it's like this crazy monster. It's like a djinn or something that'll grant whatever wish you desire. And apparently Donna's wish is just to kill everyone.
Yeah, she's like, just kill everyone. I don't know if she killed everyone in the room or just like...
I think it killed everyone. Because her parents were like using her as a tool.
And I think that's what the whole point was. Like, she's like being used.
Yeah.
The lady's like, wish for a car. So, like, wish for something like... like the mother, it's like, wish for something good or something. I was like...
Yeah, the idea was to wish for them to get out of the city to get money.
Yeah.
So they can leave poverty. But like, she was solely using her daughter as a means of escape. And so the daughter just decides to kill them all, and then...
By like melting their faces off.
Yeah, it's almost like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
Yeah.
And then she smiles at the camera, and then it cuts away.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird ending.
So then the next one is The Gawkers.
Yes.
which I used to like until I found out I was connected to the stupid stop motion voiceover thing. But no, in all seriousness, it's still not bad.
Yeah, it uses a monster that you rarely see. At least I haven't seen any monsters like this in a while.
To stop me if you heard this before. This segment's about a bunch of douchebags.
Yes. Again, these are like douchebag kids that like to film like skirt shots and stuff.
Right, a bunch of pervs.
Yeah.
And this hot chick moves in across the street, and they're like trying to get with her or something.
Yeah, because they keep like going to her house and like filming her while she's in her like pool.
Yeah.
But then you notice every time they come back, there's like more statues and stuff outside. Like,
yeah, there's all these weird statues everywhere.
They're like, what is all this? She must be European.
Yeah, because Europeans definitely have statues all over their pool.
Of people everywhere.
Of random busts of people. But anyway, the one guy's brother, who's kind of like this awkward kid, but he doesn't want anything to do with these jerks.
Yeah, he's just like there.
Yeah, he accidentally ends up becoming friends with her.
Yeah, because like there's one because they're like basically like watching this girl all the time.
Yeah, they're like stalking her.
Yeah, like trying to look through her windows and stuff.
Right, so he ends up befriending her. She's setting up her new computer, like setting up her webcam or something.
But the douchebag brother, like the douchebag people, they're like, put a spyware program on her computer so I can like log into her webcam.
Yeah, watch her webcam. So anyway, he does it because I guess he's trying to be accepted by the group. Yeah. But he like reluctantly
does it.
And so obviously things go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I think she knows because she starts randomly undressing in the middle of the room. And then I guess she realizes they're watching, and she like leaps from the house into the other house because she takes her hair off. Turns out it's a wig.
Yeah, and it's like it's
just all snakes. So she's a Gorgon, which is like the Medusa in Greek mythology, which that's interesting. And anyway, she jumps across the other house and pretty much kills everyone.
Yeah, she turns everyone to stone.
Yeah, including the kid that had friends with her, but that's because he used her.
Yeah, because he was like, turn it off. Because there's a scene where he's like, turn it off.
Well, he didn't want to do it, but he just shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it anyways, but he wanted to be accepted by for
some reason,
his brother's douchebag friends or something.
Yeah, whatever. But now they're all dead. Yeah. But the thing that's interesting about this one is that, yes, it's a Gorgon, which is something that's like almost never done.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen a Gorgon in movies is obviously like Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
And also there's a movie just called The Gorgon, which is like a Hammer film from the 60s. Yeah. It has Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in it. And it's like set in 19th century Germany or something. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. But other than that, that's the only time I've ever seen a Gorgon. So that's got to give props for that.
Yeah. And be a Gorgon that's done tastefully, I guess you can say.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So then the last one is To Hell and Back.
This one is by far my favorite one.
This is also my favorite one, so I guess we can just close it on that one.
This one I guess was made in like a movie before this 99 came out. Like the people that made this made something similar to this, which is called I think like Deadstream.
Yeah, something like that. It's similar to it. I don't think it's the same thing, but it's the same people.
Yeah, it's the same people. It has the same actors or something.
Yeah, so this was written and directed by Vanessa and Joseph Winter.
Yeah.
And this is during New Year's Eve. There's
it's like a seance or something.
Yeah, it's like this coven of witches that's like trying to perform some kind of ritual, and they brought in these videographer cameramen.
Yeah.
And they do a ritual, but they're trying to resurrect some demon called Ukobon.
Yeah.
But things go horribly wrong. They end up the videographers end up in hell.
Yeah, they're the ones getting sucked down to wherever.
Yeah, so they end up in hell, and they end up befriending this weird demon that's named Mabel.
Yeah.
She's almost like Golem.
Yeah, she's
like Lord of the Rings. She's basically just female Golem.
And then while you're walking around everywhere, you see like these weird creatures and like these like horrible monsters everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a tour of hell.
Yeah, but they're like there's comedy in it.
Yeah,
because like the two videographers, they're like they actually have like comedic, like they work off each other.
Yeah, they're pretty well, and Mabel's funny too.
Yeah, Mabel's pretty good.
Like, she's kind of the standout character. I think she's the best character.
Yeah,
in all of VHS.
Yeah.
Like, she's just an interesting character. But like I said, she's based on Golem.
Yeah.
And then, in the end, like everything, everybody dies, basically.
Yeah, because...
including Mabel.
Yeah, Mabel says that if you go to the place where they're trying to resurrect this demon, you can get resurrected.
Yeah, put my name in the book.
Yeah, and then you put the name in the book because that's like our deal.
Right.
I'll help you get through this place. But you got to put your name in this book, or like my name in this book.
Yeah.
So I can get resurrected.
And the one guy one videographer comes back to the real world, but as he's dying, he like writes her Mabel in blood.
Yeah, because like she comes back to the real world, the Witchers like kill them for some reason, like because they thought they did something wrong.
Yeah.
So they killed the lady, which is like the main, the host.
Yeah.
Which was possessed by like the one cameraman.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the other person was possessed by. Someone else was possessed by something.
Yeah.
Like it's the other guy.
Right.
While he's dying, and he's like putting her name in the book. And at the end, you could hear him like, well, in the credits, you hear him like talking the incantation with, but saying Mabel's name.
Yeah, so it's kind of implying that they're gonna bring Mabel back.
Yeah.
So that's 99. So the best one, we both thought that was the best.
Yeah.
I think we both agree that shredding was the worst.
For sure.
That kind of reminded me of the stupid skateboarder one from the previous.
That's what it says. I think it's probably because it has like the punk rock people, and it's just like after seeing it, that was the one bad thing about this 99. It starts off with that, and I was like,
it's a rough start.
Yeah, it's like ooh, gosh.
But then it gets a lot better.
Yeah, it ends really well, but that first start is not good.
Yeah, pretty much everything leading up past that is good.
Yeah.
It's just that one sucks.
Yeah.
All right, so that leads us to our most recent one.
Yes, which
VHS
just came out this year, I believe.
Yes,
23.
Actually just like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and I think it was one actually with Shudder. I think this was like the highest premiere they've ever had was this movie.
Yeah, I think so. So this is VHS 85. We'll just go through this quickly.
Yeah, so the frame narrative on this one was...
That's the one that scientists are studying like an alien.
Yeah, this was definitely the good one. This was probably the best frame narrative out of all of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like almost like a Dateline documentary.
Yeah, it's like
from the 80s.
Yeah, Dateline or like an A&E type documentary or something.
There's like someone doing an interview and like talking about this creature they found, and they're just like letting it watch like exercise videos all day.
I don't understand why they're doing that, but anyway, they have this shape-shifting creature. It's like an alien or something.
Yeah.
And some reason they're showing it exercise tapes.
Yeah, like Master Roshi tapes.
Yeah, it's like Master Roshi. And that was directed by David Bruckner.
Which he is the original guy, so he's been here forever.
Mm.
So... But the payoff in that thing is good. That ending payoff was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So that one goes throughout, and the alien's name is Rory.
Yeah, Rory, because the one scientist is like, I'm his father or something. He like tries to he like thinks he has like some connection with it or something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It almost turns into like a Resident Evil thing later on.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, the first segment is No Wake.
Which we got to probably combine No Wake with Ambrosia because they both connect to each other.
That's true. So they're written and directed by Mike P. Nelson.
Yes.
So No Wake is pretty much like 7 friends. You almost think that they're going to do like a Jason Voorhees type thing. Because it's a bunch of friends at a lake. There's like this budding romance going on between these two and like all this other
And the one, like, they go to the lake and it says, like, have these signs. It's called, like, well, the camp. It looks like it says Camp Evil, but it's like evac or something.
Yeah, something.
And then it's like, do not swim in this water or something.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, while they're on the boat, all of a sudden, random gunshots start happening. And it's pretty much like a shooting thing. Everybody gets shot on the boat.
Yeah, the one girl gets her face blown off.
Yeah, her lower jaw gets blown off.
Yeah.
And then everybody's dead, pretty much. But then all of a sudden, suddenly they're not.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it just like goes back in time or something. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, but then I guess you just sort of figure out that the waters of the lake cause them to resurrect.
There was like a scene earlier where the guy like sees like this squirrel in the ground. Oh, there's a squirrel. There's like a dead squirrel. And the one lady's like, oh, let me see it. And then it's gone. And
it's like, gone. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together for that. Because at the time, I thought something from the lake grabbed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And then I completely forgot about it. So, yeah, you're right. So, which I don't know what happened to that squirrel. Did
Yeah,
she shoot the
gone.
squirrel first?
Yeah.
Like, how did it die in the first place?
Yeah.
Because it was like eviscerated.
Yeah, it was like destroyed.
But anyway, yeah, so they all come back, and then they determine that it has a weird ending, though, because it's literally like, oh yeah, we're going to get revenge on the person that did this to us, and then it just stops.
Yeah, it just stops. And that's when it like goes to the next video after that, or at least goes like this dinner.
Yeah, so I guess we should just skip the next ones and go right to Ambrosia.
Yeah, we'll go to Ambrosia, because they're links, so.
So Ambrosia's the follow-up to that, where you find out who killed them.
Yeah, it's like follows the killer.
Yeah, the killer is like some random woman who is part of this weird family that instead of having like communions
or like a bar mitzvah or something.
Yeah, or anything like that, instead they kill 7 people.
Yeah, they kill 7 people.
It's just the thing they do.
And I guess they're planning
like
on
the Sawyer family.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess they plan on like getting shot by the police, or I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't know what they're doing.
They're like, there's a point where it was like, you gotta kill them, take as many people down with you, and then kill yourself. That's what your goal is,
I guess. So this is the Wrigley family,
yeah,
which I guess the Wrigley family doesn't plan on sticking around too many more generations.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just this thing where they're showing the video of her murdering the people on the lake.
Yeah.
But while that's going on, her brother or some little kid or something squirts her with a gun.
Yeah, because she's like, where'd you get that toy gun at? And she's like, oh, some guy with the RV gave it to me.
Right, which of course is the people from the first movie.
Yeah, from the first movie.
So they came by with the water pistol.
Yeah.
They took the water from the lake and then told the kid to go squirt the girl.
Yeah.
So now she has the like healing waters or whatever, or resurrection waters or whatever's going on. It ends up with a huge gunfight with the police, and then like Waco type thing.
Yeah.
And everybody dies. The girl Ruth that shot the 7 at the lake also gets shot.
Yeah, she
dies. But then she comes back to life because of the water.
Yeah. Then she tries to kill herself.
She shoots herself in the head, and then she still doesn't kill her.
Yeah, and I think they got their revenge, I guess.
By
the only reason they got the revenge is because she didn't kill herself. She couldn't kill herself.
Yeah.
Which I specifically said beginning earlier, like before the video starts, like if you don't kill yourself, you're gonna bring great shame on their family.
Yes.
Because she can't kill herself because she's just gonna keep regenerating, I guess.
Right. So she brings shame upon them all.
Yeah.
It's dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Yeah, dishonor on all the other people you shot.
Yes. So anyway, but here's the problem though. She kills herself, comes back, a paramedic goes to check on her, determines that she's dead, but then she comes back and then kills the paramedic. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I've literally killed
you just got some random innocent person killed
for no reason at all.
And I assume they're just waiting to grab her in the RV when she comes out or something so they can go torture her or something.
Yeah, because I know...
What's the point of this?
Because the police actually arrest her.
Yeah.
Unless she's like one of those things where she's just arrested forever, like because it's gonna be like life in prison.
I get maybe.
And she's just gonna be arrested forever, I guess.
Maybe.
But wouldn't it be like suspicious? Like this person's 190 years old. Like,
yeah, and she hasn't aged.
She hasn't aged. Like there's something obviously wrong.
She hasn't had a pulse in 40 years.
Yeah. There's a bullet hole wound in her head.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like
it's not bad though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty decent. Like it's an interesting concept because it's almost like a Lazarus pit.
Yes.
But the main,
like Batman.
Yeah, your main heroes, like I guess they're heroes.
Yeah.
They don't want to I guess that's their way of getting back her. They don't want to kill her, but they don't want to get back. They want to get back to her somehow, and that was like their way of doing it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So anyway, that's that 2-parter.
Yeah.
No Wake in Ambrosia, and then the next one is God of Death.
Yes.
So this is written and directed by Gigi Sal Guerrero. Mm-hmm. This is a Mexican segment.
Yes.
And it's basically like a broadcasting morning news show at Ahorita TV.
Yes.
And it's there's a big earthquake, Mexico City earthquake strikes during the broadcast.
Yeah.
So this was a real earthquake.
Yeah, I kind of thought... I think it was like an earthquake that happened in the 80s.
1985 Mexico City earthquake.
Yeah.
So this kind of ties in a real event with kind of like a supernatural element.
Which it kind of looks like it plays off for the beginning, where it's almost like it's just you're watching these people going through like these earthquakes and the tremors after, because literally the building's like crumbling around them and everything else.
Yeah, so it starts out as an earthquake thing. The main reporter gets killed in the earthquake.
Yes.
And the team's just trying to escape the building.
Yeah.
And they end up down like through this crawl space, and they enter a room where the walls are made of skulls.
Yeah.
And there's this like effigy of like an Aztec god.
Yeah.
And they meet the god reawakens, ends up like ripping people's hearts out.
Yeah, and like eats the hearts.
Yeah. The only thing I have an issue with this is I'm not quite sure. They kind of make it ambiguous as to what they're referring to with Mictlan, but at least the description of Mictlan is saying it's the name of the god.
Yeah.
But Mictlan's actually just like the name for hell itself.
Yeah,
like, that's
okay.
a place
Yeah.
in Aztec lore, but whatever, it's close.
Yeah, because she literally says, like, rise up or whatever.
Yeah, she's saying rise up Mictlan, and I don't know if she meant that guy or literal like the hell itself rise up.
It's almost like it seemed like it's the hell itself, because we said the one time the whole area was like just shaking, so I'm assuming the whole like Mictlan, like the underworld is coming up.
So yeah,
She's like the one paramedic, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, the room basically collapses in on itself. There's a news reporter outside that says, I guess today, September 19th, approximately 7:20 a.m. will be a day to remember.
Yeah, and it's supposed
I guess that's actually a real news quote.
Probably.
From the earthquake.
Probably.
I think the earthquake killed like 5,000 people. Or something. It was
sure.
like a pretty big thing when it happened. So they're kind of blending real world events with kind of a fictional narrative.
Fictional thing.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I did like that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm a pretty big fan of Spanish language horror.
Yeah.
Like, they seem to do a pretty good job, and just across the board.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Spanish horror movies and stuff that I've liked most of them.
Yes.
So this is another good one. The next one is TKNOGD,
which comes out to be Techno God.
Techno God. Technogod.
Yeah, Techno God, which is
directed by Natasha Kermani and written by Zoe Cooper.
Yeah, and this one follows our lead person. I guess she's making like a short film or showing like a performing arts thing.
It's almost like it's a performance, like stage performance, or something.
She's on the stage and she's like, God is dead. It's been replaced by a techno god.
Yeah.
Because then she shows a video of like some guy that he brings out the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
They literally say the iPhone
in 1985.
Yeah, and the power gloves that are connected to it.
He brings out the power glove, and he brings out the VR headset.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a Meta or something.
Yeah.
It literally, obviously, they took a Meta and just repurposed it for this video.
Repurposed it for 1985.
It's the iPhone.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, I could be in two different spaces. I could be in the real world or in the digital world. And in the future, you're going to have two different spaces at all times. You'll have
Second Life.
Yeah, you have Second Life, pretty much. It's like, I want to drink my coffee in this...
My lukewarm
coffee.
Tepid coffee, just like I like it.
Yeah, because with the gloves, you can actually feel what's happening in this virtual world or whatever.
Yeah.
So the lady's like, since we've replaced our real gods with this techno god, I'm going to try to wake up this techno god.
Mm-hmm.
So then she makes a bunch of
She makes whale
noises into the microphone.
And summons it, and he's like, if you're real, then show yourself.
Show yourself.
But if you did that with a real god, you're not going to get any results. So I don't know what the hell the point of that was.
And I think she was supposed to say that it doesn't exist or something.
Maybe.
And then something happens, and she's like, what's this?
Lawnmower Man happens.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man happens. It's like Mephisto from this Diablo 2.
Oh, yeah, Mephisto
he shows up. Because you see this weird tentacle monster, and then she puts her face shield down.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's trying to take it off because she sees this monster and is trying to get it off before this thing attacks.
And it rips
it's
her
literally
legs
attacking
off.
her this whole time. She's bites her fingers off and her hand's gone.
Out of the glove. Her hand's completely gone under the glove.
And then it gets her legs and she's picking her up out of the air.
It just throws her across the stage.
Yeah, throws her across the stage.
Everybody's just thinks it's part of the performance.
Yeah, part of the performance. Her legs are getting cut off.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, one gets shredded and the other one just gets cut off completely.
Yeah.
And then the one guy goes up on the stage to remove the mask.
And people are like clapping and stuff.
Yeah, now it's like her whole brain is exposed. It's just her eyeballs like staring at you from inside the mask. It's like really creepy.
Yeah, it looks really weird. It looks like that thing from like Mars Attacks.
Yeah, basically. Like I'm not a huge fan of the overall storyline of this, but the gore effects are top.
Yeah, because the leg being ripped off and stuff was pretty gruesome.
I'm sure the budgets have increased with these, but that one in particular.
Even that weird at the end, because it shows like the electricity's like almost like probed into her brain. It looks really weird.
Yeah, the effects work really well.
And like her eyes are just like staring at the camera.
Yeah.
Because like she doesn't have eyelids anymore, so it's just like her eyeballs are just staring at the camera. It looks really weird.
Yeah, it was creepy. It was like a cyberpunk.
Yeah, almost like a cyberpunk thing.
So then the final one is Dreamkill,
which is by far the best one, and probably the best one in actually the series, probably.
Yeah, I think it's the best one. It's directed by Scott Derrickson.
Yes.
So you should have a sort of disclaimer here.
Yeah.
This is the best one, in my opinion, across all VHS, and I know that other people have done, like T. West has done like A24 films, but that was after his VHS.
Yeah.
Radio Silence has done Scream again after their VHS. Here we have Scott Derrickson, who 10 years ago made Sinister, which is still widely regarded as one of the greatest horror films of like the 21st century or whatever. And number of other, Black Phone he did. I mean, obviously the first Doctor Strange he did, but he's done a lot of really good horror.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good stuff.
So you have a guy who really knows what they're doing and has been a master of the craft for over a decade. Yeah. Doing a short film on VHS. So the fact that this kicks ass and is like probably the best segment needs to have a little disclaimer that this guy has a lot of experience behind his background here.
And it's obviously put a lot of budget in this one.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't a lot of budget, but a more budget than some of the other ones.
So all I'm saying is that this is an excellent one, but it's almost an unfair comparison. Yeah. But anyway, so Scott Derrickson, as usual, knocks it out of the park. It's kind of starts out with this home invasion thing from like the point of view of the killer,
and it looks really weird. Like the way the film, he must use other film or something because it looks weird. Like it doesn't. It looks very fuzzy.
All right, so if you've actually never seen Sinister,
I've never seen Sinister.
We have to fix that. Yeah. But for people who have seen Sinister, they. In that film, there is this entity called Bagul.
Yeah.
And it basically causes people to, like, murder their family members or whatever. But whenever they go into a murder sequence, the people watching it in the real world are watching it through a projector. So it's like reels on a projector. So what Scott Derrickson did was actually film all those segments on like real 8mm film.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're watching the projection segments in the past, it's a real creepy because it has this old-timey grain about it. Yeah. And it's a completely different film than what the rest of the film is.
This one has that look.
This does that exact same thing. And certain segments, there's a real creepy, like, the sound design, the music is, I don't know what the term I want to use for it. It's like blurry, but I mean, you can't use blurry for sound. Yeah. But it's like that. It's like sort of not inaudible, but it's like distorted.
Yeah, very distorted sound to it.
Distorted sound. The music is very creepy and distorted, almost like Siren, the video game. Yeah. That happens in Sinister as well.
Oh, okay.
So if you imagine that kind of real creepy vibe that you got from this, dial that up to like a 10 and that's what happens in Sinister. So it's like really like haunting, and the fact that Sinister doesn't really rely on jump scares, it relies more on that type of
because this one, like when they do like the killing parts, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, and it is in Sinister
because she's like getting cut open. The one scene, the very first one, the guy takes like a straight razor and puts it right in the eyeball and just like slices it. It's like nasty.
Right. In this one they do that. And so in this one it's apparently like dream sequences that somehow get transmitted to a videotape.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like, it's a bit like psychic photography.
Yeah.
Which they do in like Ringu and like a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
Except for with a videotape, Which I think they did this in an X-Files episode, too.
Oh, they probably did.
There was a guy with, like, a German guy or something, and he was able to, like, psychically transmit images to pictures or something. Yeah. But anyway, that's similar to this, and it turns out that there's, like, these two detectives, like, investigating it, and there's all these killings, and this kid, this like, goth kid, Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther.
Is, able to see these murders before they happen.
Yeah, and he's been mailing tapes like 3 days before the actual murders.
Yeah, and his vision of the murder ends up appearing on the videotape, so then he mails it to the police.
Because he used to say, like, I used to dream of this, like, football game scores or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, lately I've been having nightmares, and this is what the nightmares have been.
Yeah. So somebody's able to, like, psychically project it to film or something.
But there was a point, there's one scene where they're basically interrogating the kid. And it's like, that's my dad or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they know they're like family members or whatever.
Yeah. That's my dad.
That's my dad.
But, yeah, so Gunther knows who the killer... He doesn't know who the killer is, but he knows what the kills are going to happen.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
He kind of has like an inkling of what it is.
And eventually the one detective determines that it's the other detective that's doing it.
Yeah, because he's like looking through the records and he's like, the person that's been here is like your lawyer or something.
Yeah.
Like, the one lady is like your lawyer.
Something like that, yeah.
And the other lady was the other person or something.
So then the detective that's doing all the murders kills the other one.
Yeah.
And then goes back to the police station because then the plot becomes killing Gunther.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Because he's
the
like
title of an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
But he goes back to kill Gunther. It turns into another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Terminator.
Yeah, it looks very Terminator.
Because he ends up killing the police department.
It's almost like the exact same scenes, almost.
Yeah. But then after a huge shootout where he murders the whole police department, pretty graphically.
Yeah.
The gun violence is like really bloody.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm going to kill you, but you're not going to do it. I know what's going to happen.
And then Gunther ends up shooting him through the head.
And that's it.
Yeah,
that's the very end.
That's the end of it. So this is pretty good. It has elements of Sinister for sure.
Yeah.
In there. I've actually not seen Black Phone yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's a good movie.
So we should probably watch Sinister and Black Phone sometime.
Yes.
So that is basically it.
I guess we have the one play, the payoff to Rory.
Yeah.
So like I said, we said something earlier about they've been watching these exercise videos this whole time.
Yeah.
So the one doctor, like, it's like the end of the Dateline episode, and they're like, I guess it might be one extra segment, actually. It's almost like an extra segment on the very end, because he's like, it's too graphic. We've seen this too much. He's like, we've seen it, so we're going to shut this off, and then it cuts off, and then it plays, like,
then it plays what the video...
Yeah, that part that they saw, like, the Dateline people, they didn't want to show the thing, so...
Yeah, because it turns out the one doctor actually just left.
Yeah, the one doctor is, like, doing interviews.
She just
left. She's like, just leave with me.
She's like, I don't know why nobody went with me, but they stayed.
Like, the main lead scientist is like, I know what this person's sick or something. He's
he thinks Rory's sick.
Yeah, Rory's sick because he's just laying on the couch.
Yeah. He's in a cocoon that looks like a green garbage bag.
Yeah. But... So they're like, give us some adrenaline or something. So he sends this one guy in to open the containment bay with his, like, suit.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rory gets up and basically uses his tentacles to grab his arm.
Yeah, Rory turns into a Resident Evil monster.
Yeah, it turns like some monster, and it's like basically keeps tightening him more and more.
It's like Plant 42 or something.
Yeah, while he's trying to leave out of the building, so they try to save her. They basically try to save him or whatever.
Yeah.
And basically like ripping his like legs off.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it basically drives him in. The cameraman and the main scientist is trying to leave out of the place because Rory's like killing everyone, like grabbing people and bringing them back to like their room or whatever.
Yeah.
So the scientist tries to get out, but his hand's covered in blood, so he can't actually get out of the actual place. So it basically kills them too, and it basically is dragging the one cameraman back to like his room.
Yeah.
And then the payoff is it shows them like doing exercises on this like on the floor, like these squats or something. I don't know what that is.
It's like pelvic thrust.
Yeah, pelvic thrust, like a typical 80s pelvic thrusting like exercise video thing. Yeah. It's like basically doing it over and over again, all these like dead bodies.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Rory pretty much uses his tentacles to take over the bodies of these dead scientists.
Yeah, it's like it grabs around the leg, the legs and the in the
It's
torso.
just, like,
and then,
forcing their dead bodies like marionette puppets.
Yeah, it's like basically doing pelvic thrusts because that's what the TV's been doing this whole time.
Because all they showed this thing for like months was exercise tapes for some reason. Like, I don't understand
It's like
why that's the extent of human culture.
Yeah, it's exercise videos.
It's like Master Roshi chose the programming or something.
Like, it's a good payoff. It's really good payoff because they show it throughout the whole time, and every time it shows, I'm just watching these exercise videos. It's always the same one.
Yeah.
Like the pelvic thrusting, like they're on the ground doing like some weird pelvic thrust thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. At least that paid off. That was like a pretty good payoff.
Yeah.
Now, if they had the quality of that specific... Because there's another VHS supposed to be coming out next year.
Yes.
If they have this exact quality, I could see that. It's a pretty good decent... I wonder who the actual people they have doing the videos.
Yeah.
But whatever that... If they can keep that... Whatever, the frame narrative quality up like that, it's like, okay, that's actually kind of worth to watch it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so... I think the best one was definitely Dreamkill.
Yes.
With Scott Derrickson.
I do agree with that.
But since I said he's like this already established director.
Yeah.
I would say my next favorite was the Mexican one, God of Death.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
So, and then the least favorite was Techno God.
Yeah, Techno God was the least favorite. But like I say, they're not... None of them are bad.
Nah, they're not terrible.
One's slightly better than the other ones, I guess.
Right. So like you said, next year there's another VHS coming out.
Yes.
And apparently that one's... The theme is sci-fi.
Ooh, okay.
So, but there's been a lot of sci-fi horror throughout.
Yeah.
So it may be... Like
probably...
Rory, for instance, was sci-fi.
Yeah, that's a sci-fi horror.
So you could... We've already done Aliens. We've done experiments. Like the Indonesian one with the robot thing, that would be sci-fi. There's a lot you can do with sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi is very all-encompassing, I think.
Yeah, and some of the best horror films have been sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like Alien, The Thing, like that sort of thing. So it'll be nice to see what they can do with that.
Yeah. It really depends on which directors they get.
Right, we don't really know anything
Yeah, they didn't
else.
really have it. It just says like it's to be announced, but it is supposed to come out next year. So.
They just confirmed at the Comic-Con panel that they're making another one.
Oh, okay.
That was like, there's going to be a 7th VHS sometime in 2024.
I wonder what years they're supposed to be picking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They can continue doing this year thing.
Actually, I think probably should do like 50s, maybe 60s, because that's where sci-fi really came about.
Yeah, they could do that. Or they're just all futuristic or something.
Oh, yeah, or just really futuristic.
Yeah, it could be that too. Maybe it's 2055.
Yeah, 2055, yes. 2077.
2077.
VHS 2077.
Cyberpunk. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this review of VHS. Yes. So if you watch the VHS films, tell us which ones your favorites were and also least favorites.
Yes.
In the comments below. If you like videos like this, consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. Let us know what else you'd like us to cover. We do a lot of horror movies, we do action movies, we do sci-fi, we do basically whatever.
Yeah.
Unless it's not like a romance film or
something.
Yeah. We don't cover that too often.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let us know what you want us to do in the future, and you too could feel the strength welling within.
See ya.
And Hail Ratma.